Sunshine here at Target Field today as Byron Buxton leads the guys out of the first base dugout. Already a winning homestand. Twins look, though, to cap it off with a 4-game sweep over their longtime rivals, the Detroit Tigers. Temperatures mid-40s, light wind here today at the ballpark. Twins and the Tigers one more time coming up here momentarily. A.J. Hinch and Detroit, they have dropped their last 7 on the road. A 4-8 start so far for the Tigers here this season. As we take a look at the Tigers lineup, it is brought to you by Ford. Colt Keith off to a great start this season, batting .351. Batting leadoff today, Gleyber Torres hitting second. Riley Green is batting third. No Kevin McGonigal in the starting lineup here today. Javier Baez at short. Zach McKinstry will play second base, and Jake Rogers is behind the plate. He will catch Jack Flaherty. And here is Mick Abel. His third appearance, Morty's second start. His numbers brought to you by CarShield.
Yeah, a better looking day. Pitched in the snow last time out. First outing of the year was a piggyback situation where he came in the 5th. Hopefully a little more normalcy to this one on the Target Field mound. He hasn't had a problem getting ahead. It's more just finishing at bats and avoiding that big inning. And the numbers don't indicate how good of stuff he has. So hopefully this is the start where he comes out here, he trusts his stuff, he fills up the zone, and then he has some quick innings and lets this offense that's been very good in this series kind of take over.
How about the Twins defensively, Morty, for game 4?
Yeah, we got Altman in left. You got Buxton in center, Wallner again out there in right. You got Gray starting in short, Clemens at second, Bell at first, Caratini behind the plate. So a little different look today. Keish will get the day off. Brooks Lee getting the day off. And see if the Twins can find a way to sweep the Tigers in a 4-game series for the first time since 2021.
Altman his first start in left. And Colt Keith will lead things off for the Tigers. And the first fastball from Abel is a strike at 96. And with that, we're underway. Here from downtown Minneapolis, Colt Keith, 5th-round pick in 2020. Couple of hits in this series, both hits doubles. As Abel tries away, was a changeup. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Colt Keith.
I know there's a lot of predictions of what's going to happen for the Twins this year, what's it going to look like, but with the young arms they have in the rotation, it is really hard to kind of pin on anything what's going to happen, because you never know with these young guys, with the electric stuff that they have, of how their season's going to go. Are they going to get confidence early and roll all year? Is it going to be kind of up and down like you typically see from younger pitchers? Really close pitch. And I think obviously the starting pitching sets the tone for a team, and when they keep you in games, they give you a chance, and you have some veteran bats like the Twins have. They've been in every game.
And that's strike 2, and Keith will challenge. So he was set to take his base.
He's taking his gloves off like he feels like he's right.
Adrian Johnson behind the plate, the crew chief, and the system says strike, and Keith will put the gear back on and step back in. And a 3-2 count on Colt Keith. So Detroit loses a challenge.
And now he's
5 pitches into the game.
He's got to reset, get his batting gloves back on, get himself. I think this is maybe the hardest thing, is getting yourself mentally back in the at-bat when you felt like you should have been walking to first base.
So a 3-2 count to Colt Keith. And the payoff pitch, and that is low for ball 4. So Keith indeed does earn his walk, and that is the 8th walk. 7 strikeouts for Mick Abel so far this season. Keys to the game, Morning, brought to you as always by Toyota.
Well, ready and able, and bring out the brooms. I mentioned it before, got the chance to sweep the Tigers in a 4-game series for the first time since 21, and then Mick Abel, the starting pitching has been very good for the Twins in this series. Matching up with, oh, we got another challenge.
So Victor Caratini has challenged 5 pitches behind the plate. He's been successful 4 times. And this is a strike. Now the Twins now with 26 overturned calls. That is the most of any team in baseball in this new ABS era in the big leagues. The 0-1 to Torres. Swing and a miss on a slider. Torres 3 for 12 in this series. He's walked 3 times. You saw the note, he's among the league leaders in walks with 12. As Keith stays, here's the 0-2 pitch, looped in the right field. That's going to be in for a base hit softly, and Keith will advance down to second base. A weak contact, but Torres another opposite field hit in this series, and Detroit is threatening right away. 2 on, nobody out against Abel.
Just in the zone a little bit too long. He saw the ball kind of pop up, and Torres, one of those guys who makes an adjustment with 2 strikes. And does a nice job of just putting it in play, hit it off the end of the bat. Not hard contact, but it's a hit.
So now Riley Green. Lefties have hit Abel hard so far this season. His second start, third appearance. And a fastball by the bat of Green at 95, 0-1. Green, he's reached base safely in all 12 games for the Tigers this year. That's the longest consecutive streak by a Tigers batter since 2016, when J.D. Martinez reached in the first 13 that year. However, Green, power numbers not showing up just yet. He's hitting 196. OPS is in the mid-500s for a guy that blasted 31 home runs last year. Abel ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. And Caratini's going to challenge again. So Caratini already 1 for 1. Is he 2 for 2 on this changeup? And the answer is yes. So Caratini 2 for 2 quickly behind the plate. And Green is out number 1.
Oh, taking a page out of Jeffers' book on that one for strike 3. Jeffers do that in this series quite a few times.
So 7 challenges for Caratini. And he's lost only 1. So 2 on, 1 out, and now Kerry Carpenter. Did not start the first 2 games, dealing with a stomach bug. And man, has he been a tough out lifetime against the Twins. No matter where these teams have met, great numbers against Twins pitching. As a breaking ball spins in for strike 1. OPS in his career off the Twins is over 1,000. 2 on, 1 out. And Abel's 0-1. Misses badly outside. Abel today seeing the Tigers for the first time in his career. Nick beat out Zebby Matthews for the 5th and final spot in the rotation. And Abel had a great camp. He's 24 years old. The 1-1. Ball 2.
I will look at Carpenter, the way he puts his front foot, he's trying to get that weight a little more on that backside and then trying to load in that back hip. Watch that belt buckle, how it kind of just tucks underneath and maybe points a little bit back towards that catcher. He's trying to hold that there. So getting that weight off that front foot.
Helped him out there, chased the fastball up and away, 2-2.
But it allows him to kind of stay back and let the ball travel a little bit more, and then he's trying to elevate, he's trying to hit that ball hard. And the more you can keep that weight back, you give yourself an extra 1/10 of a second to be able to react. The difference between getting jammed and maybe having a little bit longer to make a swing decision.
Now the 2-2 from Abel. He struck him out swinging, went back to the bender. So back-to-back strikeouts of Green and Carpenter. So 2 down, and now here comes Spencer Torkelson.
Well, this one a lot better than that one he threw to Torres, the one that kind of popped up out of the hand, and Torres was able to just kind of throw the bat out there and flip it over Clement's head at second. But good adjustment there. That one tunneled really well off his fastball, just coming out on that same plane and then diving late.
Torkelson, a guy seeing a ton of pitches per plate appearance this season, just under 5. As Abel misses inside ball 1. 4.7 pitches per plate appearance to be exact for Torkelson, 3rd most in all of baseball.
That's accompanied a high walk rate, over 18% of the time. So seen a ton of pitches, just hasn't hit for power yet.
And he's not alone with his Tiger team. Detroit, entering game number 13 this season, have hit just 7 home runs, tied for the 2nd fewest in baseball. The Giants 5, the fewest of any team. Keith and Torres on. Abel behind, Torkelson 2-0. 95 for strike one. And for Abel, this is a key stat early on, Morty. 2 strikes, but also 2 outs. Trying to get off the field. Opposing teams early on against Abel with 2 outs, batting .400 against him.
Yeah, finishing at bats and finishing innings.
As Torkelson sends it high and deep to left center field. Outman on the run. Outman will make the play on the warning track to end the inning. So Torkelson gave it a ride, 103 off the bat, but the Tigers don't score and leave 2. Last night's win secured Derek Shelton's first series win for the Twins here this season. Now seek a 4-game sweep. The Twins lineup brought to you by Menards. Byron Buxton has had a wonderful series back in the leadoff spot, 5 for 12, 2 doubles. He has scored 5 runs against the Tigers this week. With Larnach at Bell, no Luke Keyshaw to start play tonight. Matt Wallner starting his 13th straight game. We see Cody Clemens, Tristan Gray, and James Outman return to the Twins lineup here as the Twins shockingly see a right-handed starter on the mound. Jack Flaherty today for the Tigers. And Buxton pops up the first pitch. Major league pop-up right behind the mound. And McKinstry in from second. Makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and 1 out.
Yeah, Flaherty, it's been a struggle in his first 2 starts. 8 walks, 8 strikeouts. Not typical of his stuff. It'll be interesting to see if the Twins are able to get some traffic. If they can get him a little bit emotional, if they can get to him a little bit, take advantage of that, maybe have that big inning.
Yeah, similar stat lines for both starters today. When you look at the seasons so far for Flaherty and Abel, high ERAs, high walk rates. Trevor Larnach
I think what's maybe the most interesting part so far is the 2 fastballs he's thrown have been 90. His average is 93. He can run it up there to 95. The weather, early start.
There's 91 on Larnach, 2-1. And Flaherty's been very good this season. First time he has seen a lineup in a game. He's yielded only 1 hit. First time through his first couple of outings. Now 2-2 on Larnach. Larnach 5 walks, has struck out just 1 time this season. Hitting .313 OPS over 900, limited starts. With the abundance of lefties the Twins have seen so far, Larnach has seen more time on the bench. Could take their 3-2. Another at bat where Larnach is seeing quite a few pitches.
23.8% walk rate. Right, getting some good matchups and then really doing a good job of staying disciplined. Very hard to do when you're not playing every day.
And that's low ball 4, and Larnach is on again. Base percentage near .480, and Flaherty walking his 9th batter at 8 2/3 innings thrown. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively here for Game 4.
Green, Meadows, Carpenter in the outfield with the right-handed starter going. Keith Baez, McKinstry, and Torkelson. No McGonigal in this one, and then Rogers doing the catching behind the plate for the day game.
Rogers hasn't played much behind the plate. He's only challenged 1 time as a catcher all year and was successful. Twins, though, with Larnach walking a moment ago, that's something that the team has done well collectively. A 12% walk rate for the team, 4th highest in baseball. Ball 1 to Josh Bell. He's had some big at-bats in this series, and there's another one. Lines a base hit to right. Larnach will round second base, and he will try for third, and Carpenter's throw not nearly in time. And Larnach an awkward slide into third base. And Bell with a line drive single. Twins have runners at the corners with only 1 out.
He's almost going to need that face repair like Clemens had. But we've seen it in this series with the cold weather, field not drying out as much as it does in the summer. Guys are kind of sticking when they slide, when they're diving for balls. But another one of those balls pulled through that 3-hole from Bell. And then good job by Larnach. Even though he froze and that line drive went past him, that's a good time to go first to third. The outfielder had to move towards the line. That's a long throw.
So Larnach is okay. And now ball 1 to Matt Wallner. Can the Twins strike again early? They put up 6 on Framber Valdez in the first inning last night. It's fouled back on Wallner. So Wallner, the only Twin to start all 13 games so far this season. Batting fourth here today. Wallner 4 hits in the series with a couple of doubles. He's been better this week with runners in scoring position. Lined up the middle on a hop. What a pick by Baez to second for one. Throws high, and Wallner was tagged out on the back to end the inning. So Javier Baez still quite smooth at short. A one-hopper that he gloved behind second, and it is a double play. Pending any challenge by the Twins at first base. Watching it live, it looked like Torkelson tagged out Wallner in time. So the Twins make some noise, but Javier Baez, El Mago on display, the magician, our unreal defensive play of the game, ends the Twins first. As Zach McKinstry leads off the Detroit second. McKinstry, Baez, and Parker Meadows to bat. 95. Good velocity from Abel so far today. 0-1 on McKinstry.
Yeah, you wonder if that velocity is going to continue to go up as the weather warms up. Averaged 96 with that pitch last year. Right around 94 so far this season. That's definitely enough fastball to survive in this league, especially if you're able to locate it.
Breaking ball outside, ball one to McKinstry, an all-star last year, also a Silver Slugger winner last year amongst utility players. 2 hits in the series. 1-2 pitch to first and foul. Tigers head home after the game today. They welcome the Marlins to Comerica Park starting tomorrow. Twins head to Toronto. 3-game weekend series at Rogers Center.
Oh, Canada.
Your home and native land.
We'll hear the rest of the song tomorrow.
I love it.
Or tomorrow if you prefer.
Tomorrow. Twins are hoping to get some more offense here today and sweep this series. Abel's 2-2. Slicing foul and no play for Royce.
Nobody signed up for the ball boy down the line. Royce has got to run all the way after that thing. Or ball girl. Need Plouffe to come out and sit down there and get himself a helmet.
He would gladly do it too. Our Delta drone cam looking at beautiful target field today. 7th pitch coming up. Abel to McKinstry. And there will be an 8th. McKinstry back at second base today with Gleyber Torres DHing. Another foul. Somebody down the right field line.
Knocked it down. That was a missile.
th pitch upcoming for Abel.
Well, you definitely don't want to start the first inning of the second inning with a leadoff walk. It's kind of a recipe for disaster. See what they go with here to try and get something in zone.
And that is ball 4. So Abel, like we saw last inning, walks the leadoff man to begin the Tigers' second. Here comes Javier Baez. Morning. Let's go back to the inning-ending double play turned by Baez a moment ago.
Yeah, great play by Baez, but watch Bell as he's going into second base. He doesn't slide here, which forces Baez to throw kind of around him, and he throws offline to first base. So Bell's a big guy going in, and a lot of time guys will peel off, but you force him to make a decision. Does he want to throw that ball right in the middle of your chest to try and get you to stop doing that? If he does that, you're going to score a run. Now, you can't intentionally get in the way of the ball like we saw Josh Naylor do in the playoffs last year, but you can continue on your path. You're running into that base. That middle infielder has to throw around you. So Bell made him kind of alter his path to making that throw, and Twins almost benefited from it. The throw was offline. Torkelson made a nice play, putting that tag on him.
Sweeper. That's the pitch that Abel really worked on when the Twins acquired him from the Phillies. The Joan Duran trade did not really throw that sweeper in a game until the trade. Started with that sweeper throwing it in St. Paul. And Baez softly to center field. Buxton coming in, won't get it, it lands. And McKinstry read that well, so comparably to what we saw in the first inning. Soft contact. It was Torres last inning moving Keith to second. Now we see Baez doing the same here, advancing McKinstry.
Yeah, I was going to steal a Yogi Berra there. It's like deja vu all over again. 2-strike breaking ball. Not a terrible location, probably 6 inches off the plate, which caused the hitter to hit it off the end of the bat and gets it to fall in front of a Twins outfielder. See if he can find his way out of it again, but not necessarily giving up that hit. It's more the leadoff walk, I think, that will bother you.
Lewis playing even with the bag at third as Meadows digs in. And Abel behind, ball 1. Meadows in center field today, hitting .273 to start the year. No homers and 2 knocked in. .95 for strike 1. The Tigers hoping just a healthy season for Parker Meadows ahead. Just 58 games last year. Dealt with a nerve issue in his arm that cost him a large chunk of time early last year. But he's had just a litany of injuries over his big league career. Strike 2.
Here's 96. See if you can find a way to finish this at bat right here, or get some soft contact on the ground and get a couple outs at once.
2 on, nobody out, no score. The 1-2.
You pointed out when Taj was pitching the other night, the pace he was working with, it seemed like he couldn't wait to get back on that rubber. You get that ball, he was ready to go. Early going here, still feels like maybe Mick's trying to figure out what he's got working today, what he feels comfortable with, kind of working through the process a little bit.
Pitch count climbing for Abel. Approaching 40 here in the second. Nobody out. Strikes out Meadows. The change of pace. And third strikeout for Abel, 1 away.
Just, you see it, like you sense it when you're playing defense, when a guy's confident out there on the mound and he's working quick. It's like you just can't wait to throw that next pitch. And it's so good to see Mick kind of being able to bounce back in these situations and work back. And then his ability to miss bats is huge. I mean, he has the stuff. He has electric stuff. He's got a lot of options out there.
So 1 out for Jake Rogers, the catcher batting 9th, and cues it up the third base line and foul. Abel so far this season, small sample, but it really hasn't been a ground ball pitcher. It's a low ground ball rate that Abel has. He does have a sinker, but all of his options, Morty, that is pitch number 6. Doesn't throw many sinkers. A long hold, and the 0-1, 0-2.
I feel like over time that's something that he'll probably develop. We see so many starters across the league with 3 fastballs, with the 4-seam, the cutter, the sinker, and it's a great way to neutralize the right-handed hitters and open up the outside part of the plate. You make any hitter inside conscious, it really affects their at-bats. Right now he's going with what he's got today.
The 0-2 pitch, a foul tip hung onto by Caratini, and Abel makes quick work of Rogers with gas upstairs in the zone. So back-to-back punch-outs, and quickly 2 down here in the second.
Yeah, he's made a great pitch here, fastball up. McKinstry looked like he had thoughts of trying to steal third. He got a ways off of second base. If they pay a little more attention, maybe we see a back pick or a spin move here.
Gray creeping near second, grounded. Abel brought his glove down, and Gray will take it to the bag to end the inning. Smart play there by Abel. The glove went out. He quickly pulled it down, and Gray got his man at second.
Late, and now has walks in 5 straight games, which ties a career high. So what's behind it? Well, earlier today he smiled and said, maybe down there in the lineup they are a little worried about me, knowing, hey, that guy can smack a home run. But he also pointed to ABS. He says you're able to trust that you will have the same strike zone every day, and that gives you a lot of confidence. That's why he says he's jealous of all of these young guys. They've trained with it for years, so they come up here to the big leagues already with a great eye and a great level of confidence. But guys, as he says, you know what? It's better late than never, and he's used it to his advantage.
That's great stuff there, Audra. Thank you. Yeah, looking at Royce's walk rate, as you said, 27% over his career, or 20% rather, over his career has been closer to 8%, around league average, just below. But certainly that is quite noticeable, and he's not alone. The team, as I mentioned, the Twins as a team, fourth highest walk rate in all of baseball, entering play today. 1-2 on Victor Caratini behind the plate. This one is looped into right field, and Eric Carpenter makes the catch. And Caratini's had a good series, but flies out to begin the second.
Well, this is something that my conversation with Keith Beauregard that I keep going back to, but asking about the ABS and hitters being in control of their at-bats and knowing what the strike zone is going to be every time and not letting a pitch that was called your previous plate appearance affect the next one and thinking that I got to cover a couple inches off or above or in or whatever. I've been asked frequently if it's something that I think I would have liked. Absolutely. There was nothing that frustrated me more than the strike zone, than it being different every time you walked up to the plate. It changed depending on who was on the mound, who was behind the plate. On the catching side, if you had Pudge back there with a reputation, a Gold Glover and everything else, it seemed like the zone was a little bit bigger. And now none of that stuff matters. The zone is going to be the same every time. And then what that does for a hitter's mindset, it frees you up so much.
First start for Cody Clemens, and now a 2-1 count. There was a great article that came out in the Wall Street Journal, and during the opening weekend of the season. Twins were in Baltimore, and it dove into some numbers about ABS and some of the theory behind it, and looking at the minor leagues. Now 2-2, and among the moments from the article that stood out was, and the players, again, this is not based on stance, it's all about height, and all the players were measured in spring training. And what came away from it was that a few things, but what I found interesting is that the article pointed out that 68 players that were listed as 6 feet or taller all of a sudden were 5 feet something. That players shrunk when they said, you know what, let's take true measurements of you guys. And they were in their socks, no cleats, no sandals. Outside ball 4, so Clemens draws a walk. And the Twins have a base runner here in a scoreless second. So yeah, 68 players went from 6 foot something down to 5 foot whatever. And there was only one guy that was actually taller. Ohtani. 6'3", really 6'4". The only one was Ohtani.
I mean, it didn't really matter. Why not say you're 6 feet instead of 5'10"? It was funny, when I was drafted as a catcher, I said I was 6'3", and then when they moved me to first, I said, hey, can you put me down to 6'4"? I felt like I was too tall to be a catcher at 6'4". They weren't going to let me play, so just go ahead. Now, how tall am I? I don't know. It depends if you measure me in the morning or at night.
Well, that was in the article. That also mentioned that guys, they wanted to get the measurements done earlier in the day, because I didn't realize that the human body, you do shrink later in the day. That they wanted people to get measured around between 10 and noon. That if you're doing it in the afternoon, might not be the same.
Yeah, gravity on the discs and whatever else.
Outside to Lewis, and now a 2-1 count. Now, when I applied for the Twins radio job in advance of 2012, I put on my resume 6'2", thinking radio. Nobody's going to ever see me. Who cares? Now we've had to change that over the years, but.
What is it adjusted to now?
Now it's about, on a good day.
6'1"?
On a good day.
With the box?
Yeah, with the box, about 5'8.5" on a good day. With lifts. 3 balls and a strike on Lewis. He's knocked in 3 runs in this series. A couple of home runs. Overall for Royce, Tristan Gray is on deck, and now time.
But like what Royce is talking about with the strike zone, it's something that's ingrained to you from the time you play Little League. Your coach telling you if that's the zone, you got to protect the plate. For some reason, it's up to the hitter to help out the pitcher. because the pitcher doesn't want to or can't throw the ball over the plate, and you kind of get used to having to cover 2-3 inches off the plate. It becomes a habit and a mindset. And when you know that pitch is going to be a ball, or you expect it to be a ball, it's actually going to be challenged, so we'll see. But
so this will be Rogers' second challenge of the season. If the Tigers are unsuccessful, they're out. And it was a strike. Look at that. Just clipped the zone. So the Tigers maintain the challenge. My goodness, just caught the zone. So Royce will dig back in.
I wonder what we're going to do with, we saw in the first inning, Carpenter's at bat where he challenged and he was walking to first base and undid the batting gloves. You know, when there's the potential challenge at the end of the inning on the bases, the fielders are told to stay and stay there. I wonder if we're going to be instructed, hey, batters, you got to stay in the box to kind of keep with that pitch clock and the pace of game.
Runner goes and the pitch, swing and a miss, throw to second base, and Clemens is out. So how the ABS changes momentum of that inning. Royce strikes out, Clemens takes off, and Rogers throws him out. And it does not appear the Twins are going to challenge. Yeah, perfect throw by Rogers. And McKinstry just waiting for that ball to arrive into his glove. And the tag applied. And the inning is over. Our Delta drone camera looks down at Target Field. Still scoreless as we start the third. And Gleyber Torres, single to right in the first, is down to strike here in the third. Let's take a look at Abel's fastball velocity, what it looked like out of the bullpen at Baltimore, the start against Tampa Bay, and it's up today. Where it was on a cold day against the Rays.
It was snowing for parts of his start. And not exactly a summer type day here. First pitch was 41 degrees, but sunshine, it makes you feel a little bit warmer. Maybe you've adapted now at this point, a couple of weeks out of spring.
I think that played into the Twins also playing night games. You know, this series in particular, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, for the guys to get into a routine a little bit more.
It's such a challenge because you expect warmer weather during the day, but at the same time, it's not how the rest of the season is going to go. It's a little easier coming out of spring training with those day games kind of stacked. You're sort of still in that routine. At some point, it switches to the majority of them being night games.
Leadoff man has reached against Abel the first two innings, both via a walk. The 1-2 to Torres struck him out with another fastball at 95. Abel has struck out 5 so far today.
Two of them on the fastball, 2 of them on the changeup, and 1 on a curveball. Part of what was a challenge in his first couple of starts was finishing at bats. Didn't have any problems getting ahead. Now he's finding a little extra gear on that fastball. Said, heard a quote from Jeffers in the pregame show, his stuff's as nasty as anybody on the staff, as nasty as anybody in the league. Just being able to harness it, being able to work ahead, being able to take advantage of hitters when he is ahead is going to be huge. You see it, and you can see, kind of see it coming. You can see the potential there of what he could be as a big league starter.
Riley Green sends it high and deep to right center field towards the wall, and that ball is going to be off the wall. And Green will motor into second base with a 1-out double. So Green, a good swing here in the third off Abel. We saw Torkelson hit one hard in the first, and thankfully that one stayed in the yard. It's a double for Green here in the third.
Yeah, this is a tough ballpark this time of year, especially in that area out right center. 104 off the bat. Hit about halfway up that scoreboard. Buck played it well. See if he can do another good job of stranding another base runner in scoring position. So far 0 for 6 for the Tigers.
And now Carpenter. Timer down to 1. And spins in strike 1, a curveball to Carpenter. So a lengthy hold that time from Abel. Gives Green a nod towards second base. Carpenter struck out at a changeup, swinging back in the first. Fly ball left field and playable for Outman. 2 down. That's what Abel could use right now, Morty. Quick outs. Pitch count at 53 here in inning number 3. The Twins bullpen, it's been leaned on heavily here lately.
And, you know, Schulte was kind of asked about that in his media scrum today. It was, you don't want to put extra pressure on the kid telling him that you need him to pitch 7 innings because the bullpen's been used before he's pitched. You just kind of want him to go out there and do his job. Yeah, some efficiency would be great here.
So 2 down for Torkelson. He has not been swinging early in the at-bat at the same rate as he was last year. And 3 for 10 runners in scoring position for the season for the former #1 overall pick out of Arizona State. Sky to right center and plenty of room for Buxton in the gorgeous Minnesota sunshine. And Abel strands another man. Green doubles, but the Tigers do not bring him in. When we come back, we'll talk pitching with is Bailey Ober kind enough to join us. Congrats on the performance last night. Big step forward for you just looking back on your performance last night, Bailey.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I felt pretty good out there. I felt like I was able to mix and keep guys off balance.
Yeah, for the bulk of the game, right, you had to notice the amount of weak contact you were inducing. Did that catch your attention early on?
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of see how they were trying to game plan against me for a little while.
Shallow left, and that bounces past Baez, and Gray takes a look but hangs on near first base, and a leadoff single from Gray.
Yeah, it just kind of looked like they were selling out for changeup for a lot of the game, and sometimes when you're looking for a certain pitch, hitters might chase a little bit. You might not get a miss since they're kind of keying on it, but just they were willing to expand a little bit on that pitch, and then I was able to kind of beat them with spin and some fastballs.
Is that something you've kind of always done in the minor leagues, or is that something that's developed as you've been in the big leagues of trying to read swings and sort of feed off of the hitter's approach?
Definitely a little bit more up here. You try to a little bit in the minor leagues, but sometimes the approaches down there are kind of hard to understand what's going on in their head. Up here a little bit more, since they usually have a pretty good game plan against you.
See the numbers for Bailey so far this season. As Gray leads at first base, James Outman seeking his first hit, did try to bunt, pushed it foul. James batting ninth as Flaherty throws low and saved by Torkelson, with Gray getting back in at first base.
And so as you're recognizing that, Bailey, as it's going on, is that just something you kind of do on your own when you're on the mound, or is that the conversation in the dugout with your catcher, pitching coach, whoever, during the game, or both?
Yeah, it's mainly me and Jeff. Just seeing stuff after the first inning, second time through, picking up things, going over stuff in between innings, and talking about how we want to attack the next 3 guys coming up in the next half.
The 1-1 to Outman, now 1-2.
So you have your reports, you have kind of an idea before the game, and then you're reacting sort of as the game's going along. All right, we had planned on doing this, but this is what we're seeing from these guys today, and it's adaptable.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, no doubt. And I have my reports in the dugout, so I can always go back to it and see what the original plan is. But if we see something that we like, we're gonna go after it.
Changeup usage for you, Bailey, is up overall this season. What does that say about how you feel with that one particular pitch so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of a goal going in. Just, I mean, I feel like whatever your best pitch as a pitcher is, you should usually try to throw that the most. It makes sense to me, and that's kind of what my game plan's been going into this season. And obviously you have a night like yesterday where you have a team that's kind of looking for it, so you're able to maybe mix a little bit more.
2-2 on Outman. 6th pitch of this at bat upcoming. Ryan Jeffers has been a master behind the plate with ABS. Not starting today as Outman takes it low and a full count.
And so numbers against the Tigers in 25, not as good as they were in 24. How far back do you go when you're kind of preparing to face a team Is it more the hitters we're facing today, or is it, hey, in 24 we were really successful, this is what we did? Kind of take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely look back and see just what my successes were at that given time. But I would say the weight of recency of what the hitters are doing recently is more important to at least my aspect when I'm doing scouting.
So you've been out there now a few times. Have you been close to a pitcher ABS challenge, even though the manager does not want you to? Have you been close to tapping your helmet, or your hat in this case?
There has been probably 2 times where I was like, I really want to right now, but I was going to let whoever was catching me to dictate that.
Would you have been right?
I would have been right twice, but that's okay.
So on that pitch, and those pitches were not challenged.
They were not challenged.
Okay.
Nope.
But you would have you'd be 2-0.
I would be 2-0.
Okay. 0-1 count to Byron. Popped out his first time.
Yeah.
Gray at first.
They both would have been strikeouts on changeups.
Oh.
So I could have had 2 more Ks, but.
Is that a conversation you had after, like, hey, are you good if I challenge there, or are you just gonna live with what you got right now?
Just me and the catcher will joke about it, but that's about it.
They've been pretty good for you so far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Jeffers has been amazing, hasn't he, though, with when he's been challenging, how accurate he's been behind the plate with ABS?
Yeah, he's got outstanding eye back there. I mean, there's some pitches when I'm watching in the dugout that he challenges, and I'm like, there's no way that's a strike. And then, sure enough, it barely clips the top corner.
Strike 3 called on Buxton. Yeah, there are 2 down. It was a strike. Twins have both challenges remaining, but a good no challenge here from Byron.
So with kind of the way this zone's being called, with the corners being more part of the strike zone as opposed to being more of an oval like it's been in the past, do you think that's something pitchers are going to try and start to exploit a little bit and see if they can clip those corners, or is that too small of an area?
I mean, I feel like you're always kind of trying to hit corners.
Hardick out to right, but room for Carpenter. Go ahead, Bailey.
But that's a tiny spot. You can always aim small and try to miss small, but at the end of the day, that's real tight corners, and the umpires have a tough time seeing those as well.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank Bailey Oper for joining us. Scoreless after. Fourth inning underway, and a strike to Zach McKinstry. A rare first pitch take. The Tigers' left-handed hitting second baseman.
It's funny how you can let that stuff play into your head. Like, you go up there and you know times when you feel like you're swinging a ton early in at-bats, and you just go, well, I've been swinging so much, I think I got a take here, where I'm leading off or whatever you think, and then they're still trying to work ahead. They're still throwing you strikes.
0-2 from Abel.
So you kind of have that thought process of you learn from previous at-bats, but you try not to let them affect future at-bats, if that makes sense, where you're, okay, this is what he did, this is what he's going to do to me, but go up there and treat each bat as a new event, new thing.
Hit weakly to the right side, and Clemens goes from glove to glove. And McKinstry is out number 1. Javier Baez to bat for the Tigers. Check out one of the 4 Twins value stands during your next visit to the ballpark, featuring food and drinks for under $6. From hot dogs to pretzels and sodas, find your perfect ballpark snack without breaking the bank. Learn more at twins.com/value. Javier Baez, a run-saving defensive play back in the first inning. That could have been a big inning for the Twins offensively. Instead, an inning-ending double play turned by Baez. As he slams this one to right center field in the alley, Buxton going back. He'll turn, and that's going to be off the wall. He barehands the carom, and Baez will slide in safely as Bell backs up near the mound. So like the third, the Tigers get a 1-out double. This time it's Baez in a scoreless 4th inning.
Yeah, the pitch count at 60 for Mick Abel, and majority of these pitches have been high stress, runners in scoring position at bats. This will be the 9th at bat for the Tigers with a runner in scoring position, and we're in the top of the 4th. And Buxton played this really well off the wall, recognized he wasn't going to get there. I think Baez thought he was going to have an easy double and had to turn it on a little bit.
Another inning, Tigers with a runner in scoring position. Meadows was in this spot in the second, 2 on, nobody out, struck out as Abel misses away ball 1. So Baez at second. Detroit already today in 3+ innings, 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Meadows, no homers. He's knocked in 2. Pulled to first and Bell behind the bag. Taking himself for out number 2 as Baez advances down to third. I keep meaning to ask Josh about, new Twin, about how he has received the Twins' defensive idea and their planning, and it's helped. Certainly last year, Ty France win a Gold Glove at first base, in that the Twins in the past have wanted their first baseman, when given the chance, to take the ball to the bag themselves and get the out themselves and not rely on a teammate. Now that's a routine play behind the bag. He was playing in that spot with a left-handed batter. But Ty would tell me that it was new, that the Twins said, any ball you take yourself, any ball to your, try and get it, get the out. Whereas when he was with Cincinnati, San Diego, he was told to get to the bag. To the alley, and Buxton drifting over, runs it down, and again the Tigers leave a man in scoring position. And Josh Bell, speaking of the Twins first baseman, he'll bat first when we come back. Bottom 4 in a moment. Regular season, subscribe right now at twins.tv. Aforementioned Josh Bell leads off the scoreless 4th. He swings and sends it high and deep to right field. Back it goes, deep it goes, and gone. Josh Bell with a long home run out to right, his 3rd of the season, and the Twins have a 1-0 lead.
Well, you always want to get off to a great start with your new team, and he's done just that. He's had great at-bats, whether he's DH spot, playing first base, but the extra base hits from both sides of the plate, veteran presence in the clubhouse. Great start for Josh Bell.
Off the ribbon board, second deck and right, and number 3 for Bell, his second left-handed. And the Twins have a 1-0 advantage here in the 4th.
He got himself a first pitch slider hanging right in that middle part, bottom of the zone, danger zone to lefties. 106, 401 feet, broke the scoreboard.
He's also closing in on 200 career home runs, now sitting at 196. A rocket back to Mornay upon contact and towards the ribbon board, and you bet Securian Financial.
Sending him a bill.
We'll send the bill. (401 feet), the distance for Bell on the home run. Matt Walder now 2-2 on the Moose. Two from Flaherty, and a check swing, and Walner hoping for an appeal. Not going to happen. Johnson making that call himself. So 3rd strikeout for Flaherty, 1 out here in the 4th. Let's take another look at this Josh Bell home run swing.
Timing, coil with the hips, and then unleash on that ball down. It's a long ways in this ballpark this time of year.
Caratini down to strike. Getting back, though, to Bell, Mornay, about defense. And I want to get your take on just something that Ty France was informed about last year, helped him win a Gold Glove. And perhaps the Twins are asking Bell and Victor Caratini to do the same now at first.
Yeah, and I think some of that came from Carlos Correa as well. Saying, one of the best ways you can improve your defensive metrics at first is by fielding as many of those balls to your right as you can. There's a lot less opportunities at first base than there is anywhere else on the infield to improve your defensive numbers. Obviously, a ton of ground balls to the shortstop, not as many to first base. So if you catch all the ones that are in your vicinity, it helps your numbers.
Shot back to Flaherty. And 2 down.
But I think the goal in general is to catch as many balls as you can, help your pitching staff. I think just the way Ty put it, that goes back to that opening series in Baltimore when Josh hit a ball out to center field. It got lost in the sun. He ended up with a double. The old John Cena, but more the fielder couldn't see it. It's always fun when those things kind of happen organically as opposed to an orchestrated celebration, something that the team does. It's an internal thing that starts that way. But I think one of the things that Ty said, he said, I was told that let my second baseman field the ball. They want me at first base. We don't want that pitcher over there covering the base and then potential for something to go wrong. So it's an adjustment that has to be made. And I think also for Ty, he played when the shift was allowed. So a lot of those balls to your right, you never went after because the second baseman was playing in your hip pocket, and you knew it was better off you get to first, let the second baseman field it. And the unfortunate thing for first baseman is it hurts your fielding metrics. It goes to saying you have no range and you're not going to get those balls to your right. But number one, if that's what you're told to do, and number two, if there's somebody standing there and you can catch the ball at first instead of the pitcher, it makes a ton of sense. But now that we've kind of spread out the infielders and there's a little more responsibility for those first basemen on the ground ball, you have a chance to improve your numbers. The goal in general is to keep the pitch count down, turn those ground balls into outs as often as possible. If that's something the Twins believe in, then it helps. Sure, go for it.
Ball 4, and Cody Clemens draws his second walk. And the Twins have had a base runner on in every inning. Clemens has walked twice. Flaherty's walked 3 so far today. And here's Royce. Struck out swinging in the second. Lewis has reached base safely in 23 consecutive games against the Tigers. And over those 23 career games, he has an OPS near 870. Clemens stays as Royce legs move a bit on the curveball. Strike 1 called. Tigers have 1 challenge left. Twins have 2. After today, these two teams will not meet again until June. 3-game series, June 9th through the 11th in Detroit. Tigers come back here late August into September. Line foul down below. 1-2 now on Lewis. Clemens expands that lead an extra step. Takes off the 1-2 outside. Rogers bobbles, and this is something that we saw a lot last year. That 2 outs, first base in terms of run expectancy. Tough to get that guy in if he stays at first base. So with 2 strikes and 2 outs, Clemens was on the move. Picks up his 3rd stolen base.
Leading the team.
2-2 to Lewis, and that's low ball 3. So Lewis has seen back-to-back 3-2 counts against Flaherty. And if you had Cody Clemens leading this team in stolen bases 13 games in, good on you. Up the middle, McKinstry slides, backhands low, throw dug out by Torkelson. More good defense from the Tigers up the middle. And a run-saving play that
being established, and you're told from a young age it's the hitter's job to protect the plate. And all of a sudden, we've got a system now that Royce talked about where I'm in control of my at-bat. I know the strike zone is going to be basically the same every time I walk up there. I think hitters going to adapt to this, and it's going to turn into something they use to their advantage.
Again, part 2 of Justin's visit with Keith Beauregard will air on the next homestand. Twins are back here on Monday. It's a quick 3-game road trip. Colt Keith takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keith a walk and a fielder's choice. So far today, top of the order as Abel will see Keith, Torres, and Green.
He's done a really good job of getting his pitch count back under control. 43 pitches through the first 2, then 12 and 10 in the last 2 innings. Then all of a sudden you look up, he's in the 5th, he's got a lead. Pitch count's in decent shape. See if he can find a way to have a 3 up, 3 down clean inning here.
1-2 pitch again to left, and Lewis hustling over. There is a ball person down the line and left now. So both lines are accounted for.
Plouffe gave his helmet back.
Yeah, Plouffe had to be a good teammate. Once again, the 1-2 from Abel, and again hit foul. Mentioned that Colt Keith was a 5th-round pick out of high school. And the Tigers, they signed him to an extension before he even played 1 big league game. Over and low, and no challenge from Caratini, and now a 2-2 count. Now the Brewers just did something comparably with one of their better prospects. Seattle the same. Signing young players to extensions before 1 big league at bat.
You see something that the smaller market, middle market teams are doing, trying to find a way to lock up talent and keep it in your system for as long as possible.
3-2 pitch, and Keith fights it off. Pirates just signed Connor Griffin to an extension. Now we just saw him debut the other day, so a very small sample, but good for these young guys.
Good for the teams, good for the
families,
players.
Yeah, players, teams.
Security for the player. You know, fan, you buy a jersey, you buy a Connor Griffin jersey, you know he's going to be around for 9 years.
Line to center field, Buxton will break in a couple of steps. And Abel retires Keith. So 1 away here in the 5th inning. StatCast 3D is powered by Google Cloud. We take a look at the swing and misses Abel's inducing so far today. Morning.
Yeah, we've seen that fastball velocity up just a little bit compared to where it was at his last start. That's made a difference. And then working ahead, a ton of first pitch strikes. 14 of 18 coming into this inning, so he's been ahead in at-bats. You're able to do that, you can expand and take advantage of hitters' aggressiveness.
Good pitch on the corner from Abel. Strike 1 on Torres. Torres has had the lowest chase rate, among the lower chase rates in the game the last few years. Except the qualifying offer from the Tigers to come back in 2026. That's something we talked about on Monday, and quite a few players did that this offseason in a way we had not seen in the qualifying offer era.
I think you get rid of that draft pick compensation, you get rid of being tied to that. Also a new CBA coming, so nobody really knows what that's going to look like, but heading into that as a free agent, might be some benefit to that also. You don't know if the league or the teams are going to try and get even more restrictive to that, or is it going to punish free agents even more when they get to the open market? Because it has had an impact on guys in the past. You have that qualifying offer attached, and we see those guys, you know, go into February, March without jobs.
One and two on Torres.
Ooh, challenge.
New baseball for Abel.
Well, this one kind of looking on one side of the plate. Hard read for a catcher. Kind of miss one side or the other, and then didn't really catch it clean, so unsure if he should challenge there. Really close pitch.
Oh. And Caratini will challenge this one. Look to be inside. And Caratini 2 for 2 today with challenges. Don't think this one is going to work his way. It does not. And just missed.
There's the question asked to Shelty today. Do you think this is highlighting umpires and making them look bad with all the challenges? And he said, I think it's the opposite. You see how good they are. I mean, they're missing by less than half an inch on most of these pitches, whether they're on the edge or just off. I think it just shows everyone how hard it is to be a big league umpire, but also how good they are.
3-2 pitch fouled back. Yeah, we're seeing some lengthy at bats here. Morty with Abel, hence the pitch count now over 80, where he's been able to throw strike one at a high rate. But still the at bats linger. 5, 6, 7 pitches.
It's funny how quick that flipped of 12 pitches, 10 pitches, pitch count under control, and then all of a sudden 2-3-2 counts back to back, and it jumped up again.
Got in on Torres, and he floats it out to right, and Matt Wallner all over it. And there are 2 now. The Twins up by 1 here in the 5th. Hey, teachers, want a Grand Slam field trip? How about taking your class here to Target Field? And take them to the ball game with group tickets. Enjoy no ticket fees and special discounts for groups of 20 or more. Plan a field trip that your students will never forget. Visit twins.com/groups for more information. As the weather warms, often do see school field trips here. And when school ends, camp. Those bright shirts that we see throughout the ballpark throughout the summer. Camp kids coming out to take in a game.
And that's part of the reason why unique to Minnesota. In the past, there were 12-10 starts. Adjusted to 12:40 this year. That 30 minutes is huge for the players, for everyone trying to get ready. But you still have the ability to get those kids in the ballpark, whether they're coming from schools or from camps. Obviously, it doesn't matter as much in the summertime.
Riley Green doubled off the wall in right center. With 1 out in the 3rd. Did not score. The Tigers have had at least 1 baser runner on in every inning. So far, 2 up, 2 down for Abel. Now 0-2. A changeup on Green. Abel picking up the tempo here a little bit more. Strike 3 called, and Green on 3 pitches strikes out looking. 6th strikeout for Abel. 2nd time he struck out Green looking. And Abel, for the first time here today, fires a 1-2-3. Minneapolis, our Delta drone cam. As the Twins are up here, bottom 5, leading 1-0, and Tristan Gray, his 4th start at shortstop this season, leads off against Flaherty. And 1 ball, no strikes. Gray single to left in the 3rd. Made the opening day roster and pondered retirement during spring training if it did not work out this spring for Tristan and his family. 2-0 has popped up. Back of short, and Baez going out. And he'll pull it down for out number 1. With Outman coming up here in the 5th inning. Twins offense, it was quiet during the Rays series. Derek Shelton said, you know what, we're kind of in the middle right now, and shook things up, changed up the lineup with Buxton in the leadoff spot, and a much better week here morning offensively.
I think the underlying metrics were still pretty good. The at-bats, running deep counts, loading the bases a ton, a lot of traffic. Just couldn't come through with that big hit a lot of times. Now, I'm not ignoring the fact that it was back-to-back games with 1 run and 3 hits. That'll happen, but you know, the consistency I feel like of the approach up and down the lineup has been there all year. And now the results have followed, and kind of starts with that guy at the top in Buxton.
Buck is on deck, and Flaherty with the 1-1. Ball 2.
But I really think the addition of Caratini and Bell, a couple of veteran hitters to this lineup, a couple of veteran switch hitters, just with a plan every time they walk up there. I think that's been huge. If you're a younger hitter and you want to learn and you want to see from a guy who's been around, how do you prepare? How do you react when the at-bats don't go your way?
Outman strikes out, almost onto a knee on a curveball from Flaherty. 4th strikeout for the Tigers starter. And there are 2 down here in the 5th. Look at that. And the webbing at the back there. Rogers with a little tap.
Tighten that one up a little bit. It's interesting, you know, catchers going bigger and bigger gloves, trying to look like more of the glove is on the corners of the plate when they're catching the ball. Used to be the concern was you get too big of a glove, you come up to make a throw, that ball rattles around a little bit. But I think that combined with the movement, but if I can have a bigger glove and I catch that ball and I'm able to make it, present it like the majority of that ball is on the plate. It's funny how these little things catch on and then it seems like it just spreads like wildfire across the league.
Byron 0 for 2 today. 5 hits in the series. He has scored 5 runs. One and 2. If Buxton reaches, Trevor Larnach would hit next. Tigers have Carpenter, Torkelson, McKinstry, 4, 5, and 6 coming up in the 6th. McAble coming off a 1-2-3 5th. The windup and the 1-2 pitch inside on Byron. And Buxton strikes out looking. Fastball at 95 is among the better velocity numbers we have seen from Flaherty so far today. Corey Soler received 7-game suspensions. Astros under 500 scoring runs, but allowing a ton of runs. And I mentioned that Connor Griffin, 9-year, $140 million extension with the Pirates.
And I believe Lopez appealed and this was reduced to 5 games. And Soler appealed as well and hit a homer in the game yesterday. So the way the rules work, if you appeal suspension, you're still allowed to continue playing until you have that hearing. Sometimes guys want it in person. Sometimes, most of the time, you do it over the phone, over Zoom.
Gary Carpenter pops it up. Now the infield and Tristan Gray. Thanks to play. So weak contact induced there by Abel. And Carpenter 0 for 3 and 1 for 6 in the series. Abel approaching 90 pitches. Twins bullpen. Garrett Acton. Haven't seen him yet throw as a Twin, acquired from the Marlins. Went to St. Paul briefly and joined the big league club earlier on this homestand. He is warming up. One away for Torkelson, was flied out twice to left and center. McLean Stein Abel, his full name. The second start of the season, both have come here at home, and Mrs. Badley there 3-0. And he is asking for a new ball. Wearing number 20 is Abel this year, and in a perfect world, if he had his druthers, he would have a different number, but that number is already spoken for, and that's worn by the guy in center. Don't think Abel is going to be like, you know,
I'll give you a Rolex and I'll have
hey,
your number.
Byron, what about swapping the 25 for 20? No, I'm good.
I feel
Eyeball
like
4.
Buxton's probably going to be the last guy who wears that number 25 in a Twins uniform.
I agree. Buxton still sitting on 84 home runs here at Target Field, tied with Max Kepler for the most ever at this ballpark. So Torkelson is on third walk, and now Zach McKinstry. He's bounced out and walked today. Outside for ball one, as Taylor Rogers has joined Acton now in the bullpen. So Acton, Rogers, and perhaps Eric Orsi. Those are, I think, some relievers certainly in play today.
Good pitch. That's what you have to be able to do at the big league level. Fall behind in counts and throw your secondary pitches in the zone, but not just throw them down the middle and hope for strikes. Quality pitches like that, down and away, puts it in play. It's a good chance that's a double play.
Foul ball hung on to by Caratini. Another changeup.
He's used that very effectively. Most used secondary pitch so far in this outing, and he's had a good feel for it.
Baez on deck. Hit weakly to the right side. And a look to second, but Clemens will take the out at first. So Torkelson is safe. McKinstry is out, and there are two down with Javier Baez, the batter.
Well, soft contact, a decision to be made here by Clemens. Do I keep that runner off of second base, keep him out of scoring position? Kind of had that angle and the path that he took towards second base. Trying to block Clemens from being able to throw that ball. That might be the end of mixed day. We'll see if this is a conversation or if this is just a arm up to the bullpen. A little conversation with Caratini as he's going out there. Maybe this decision isn't quite made yet.
Did not make a move to the bullpen. So Shelty having that conversation with Abel. He threw Baez a first pitch fastball and he hit it hard and doubled. And Shelty will stick with Abel for at least one more man. So first time we've seen Shelty do this with a twin starter, go out, have the conversation, and let the starter stay in to see at least one more hitter.
I would love to know what that conversation with Caratini was. Like, hey, does he have anything left? You think he's done? I'm sure there was something along those lines. He wanted to get information.
This
not
has to be
in front
off
of
the
Abel.
plate, right, Morty? This has to be off the plate.
Yeah, aggressive
First
hitter.
pitch.
Aggressive hitter for sure. But the one that was off the plate, he hit for a single in the center field earlier in the ballgame. It was about 6 inches off. But we saw Caratini set up. Now do they go further off and see if you can get him a chase? I think if you go out there, you need to get it a little lower than where that last one was.
0-1, beautiful pitch, sweeper. 83, 0-2. And now let's see where Caratini sets up. Caratini, Puerto Rican born, as is the batter Javier Baez. And time taken now by Baez. And historically, when Baez has been in an 0-2 count, the opposing catcher is set up almost in the vacant left-handed batter's box behind it.
Elevate fastball.
Kind of inching back in is Caratini, and the pitch is away.
I wonder if that little deke of him holding that glove up high was more to deke the runner at second from relaying that sign. Huge lead at second. Clemens right behind. Not sure if you want to mess around with a back pick and a 2-strike, 2-out count. Your focus is on the batter.
1-2 up and inside.
I like that. He's leaning out there. He's trying to cover that outside corner, that ball off the plate. Just make him a little uncomfortable. You're not trying to throw it at his head. You're just trying to back him up a little bit, move his feet.
Pitch number 101 upcoming for Abel. 2-2 to Baez. Maybe got away with that one, Morty.
It was down. I think the fact that it was in the lower part of the zone. Not a terrible. I mean, that ball's an inch or two off the plate. It's not like it was a very hittable pitch. It's just he's got so much coverage out there the way he leads.
It's a career high pitches thrown in a start for Abel at 101 and counting. Previous high was 89. The 2-2 chopped to short. Tristan Gray picks, throws him out, and Mick Abel sixth shutout here today.
Of a composite wood material, but then he used the hollow space inside the planks and routed Upanor piping through the seats, the backs, and even the tops of the entire bench. So shout out to Upanor and Ryan, because I will tell you, they are great, and I am jealous because today, after 3 wonderful seasons together, my trusted electric blanket finally bit the dust, guys, and I'm in the shade. I'm freezing.
Oh, Audra, I'm sorry.
And it's a sad day. Sad day.
I'm so sorry. Some hazard pay today. Apologize for that. Well, that's cool. And we love Upanor, and
I still got it. I mean, it's still, something, but no heat.
No heat. But it's providing a purpose, though.
Having sat in that dugout on that bench, it's actually really good for warming up your hands, too. You kind of sit them underneath your legs and before you go up to hit, get the feeling back in your fingers. But the one thing I tried to do on the cold days was avoid spending too much time in the heat. I feel like your body kind of going back and forth, the hot, the cold, the hot, the cold. I felt like that sometimes made you tighter when you went out there. It was more just trying to maintain that temperature, but make sure your hands are warm enough. And that's different for every guy. Also was loaded up with hot sauce all over, so.
As Larnach strikes out, slow breaking ball from Flaherty, his 6th strikeout today. Now the Josh Bell home run that we saw earlier, powered by Treasure Island Resort and Casino. For every Twins home run hit to the Treasure Island home run deck, Treasure Island donates $2,500 to the Twins Community Fund in support of the Junior Twins Equipment Kit Program. A second career home run against Flaherty. And Bell fouls a sinker back.
There was no surprises for Bell. He was 7 for 31 with a home run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts coming into this game off of Flaherty. So if you wanted any information, that was the guy you were going to. What have you seen? What's he got? And all of the Twins hitters, except for Gray in the lineup, had faced Flaherty move forward. But Bell using that knowledge to his advantage, taking him deep.
He's also singled today and lines it past McKinstry for his 3rd hit today. Waited on a curveball, and Bell 2 singles and a homer, and a 3 afternoon and counting for the switch hitting first baseman.
When you're going good, you're getting these kind of hits. This ball down towards the end of the bat, just hit it in the perfect spot. 74 on the exit velo. So he threw it harder than he hit it, but absolutely got to love that if you're Bell. Take those any chance you get, because those lineouts add up. See, well, he's challenged a few. He's had a couple that didn't go his way. And this is what Shelty talked about before, kind of getting on their hitters. They're trying to let them get comfortable with the ABS system, but also with 1 challenge left. You don't want to burn it early. You still have 9 outs left to get on defense, and you want to be able to have that in case you need it in a 1-0 game late. Some strategy that goes into it.
Matt Wallner 0 for 2 today. Hard hit right side, base hit right field. 105 off the bat from Wallner. Bell halts at second base. So back-to-back singles from Bell and Wallner. 2 on for Victor Caratini.
There's that hole on the right side again that didn't exist about 5 years ago when that second baseman was standing right there. But Wally doing a good job of getting on top of that, hitting it hard, and created a run-scoring opportunity for Caratini.
Getting back as Chris Fetter, pitching coach, is out to chat with Flaherty, with Bell and Caratini. And wouldn't you agree, Josh Bell, he signed first. And when the Twins signed Bell, I think at that point, looking at the roster, that the Twins and Bell himself probably envisioned more first base defensively than it's played out. What changed was Caratini, right? Once the Twins signed Victor Caratini to catch but also play first base, I think that impacted how much first base Bell was actually going to get early on in the year.
Yeah, and I think Shelty was asked about that earlier on this homestand, and he said, yes, that's true. Originally the plan was for Bell to play, but we added Caratini. And I feel like bringing in another veteran bat, a guy who's just a quality AB. He's in control, never seems to be overwhelmed by any of the moments yet. Using the entire field, but just professional at bats that the younger guys can learn from, that if you've been around You try and pick something up from your teammates, something they do well, you see it, try and make it part of your game if you feel like it can help you.
So 2 on 1 out for Caratini. And a slider for strike 1.
But a chance to provide a little more breathing room for that bullpen, a little more separation. We assume Mick's day is done after a career high 102 pitches. So big 2-out knock here would fire the boys up and just go a long way.
Caratini, good line drive rate so far this season. Did reach twice last night with a walk and a hit that ended his run of 3 straight games with multiple hits. Flipped in the air to left, and Green over near the line, squares the shoulders. And 2 down. Runners back to the respective bases, Bell and Walder.
Now we're looking for that 2-out hit.
And it will happen against the new pitcher as A.J. Hinch emerges from the dugout, and we'll see if the Twins counter. Lefty Cody Clemens due up, and the Tigers have a lefty up in their pen.
Yeah, been trying to, for Twins fans that didn't remember, trying to remind them of how good this guy was. And for those of us that played against him, he was an incredible athlete. He could do absolutely everything on a baseball field, and always ran hard going down the line. Did the little things so well, but he was a game-changing player. Tremendous athlete.
Cody Clemens will bat for himself. He swings and sends it in the air to left center field, carrying back to the warning track, and room for Meadows right near the 377 sign to end the inning.
Josh Bell, what a day. 3 for 3, including his 3rd home run of the season. Offense overall, though, this entire series has been impressive. 20 runs on 34 hits, 9 of those going for extra bases. And Mick Abel, man, what an outing. And I'm sure a big confidence booster. 6 innings of work, no runs on the board, 6 strikeouts, and a career-high 102 pitches, guys.
Audra, thank you. And now we see the Twins debut of right-hander Garrett Acton. Some big league time with the Rays and the A's, and now a Twin.
Yeah, fastball is going to be anywhere from 93 to 95. Cutter in a split. Welcome to the team. You got the 7th in a 1-0 game. They were trying to get him in last night, and it didn't work out. We did see him warm up.
Acton was designated for assignment by the Marlins on March 29th. Twins acquired him via trade on April 2nd. Reported to St. Paul, but never threw in a game with the Saints. 2-1, popped foul over near the third base dugout. Lewis examining with a play. That one came back a bit more than Royce initially thought, and right at the stairwell. Enough room to record the out.
Fortunately, figured out where he was at on that field. That gets dangerous. You get near that stairwell over there. See, look down just to see where he's at, right at the end of that play. Marty, our part-time broadcaster, couldn't believe when I told him there never used to be those nets in front of the dugouts.
Does Marty have a last name?
Yep.
Marty Morno. Okay.
Yep.
Broadcast associate. Yes.
Yes.
One away for Jake Rogers. 0 for 2, 0 for 6 in the series. The veteran catcher. And strike 2 from Acton. Acton was recalled from the Saints on April 5th and now making his Twins debut 4 days later. Check swing. Did he go? No. This is Rob Drake at first.
Well, give us a good look here. Good call. I feel like this might be the worst vantage point because I feel like I'm wrong like 90% of the time on those check swings up here. I thought for sure that was a swing, but thankfully I'm not the one making the call.
2-2, and that'll be a souvenir. Acton is from the Chicagoland area, from Naperville, Illinois. White Sox drafted him in the 35th round in 2016. Has 5 major league strikeouts.
Foul ball.
And that hit Rogers.
Elbow guard was the sound, not the bat.
So Rogers has just 1 hit this season, 1 for 12. Hit by a pitch. And the Tigers have the tying run on, and now some power coming up as it turns over. Colt Keith 0 for 2 with a walk today. Ball and no strikes on Keith. Tigers third baseman today. And now 2-0.
Let's see what he trusts here. The 2-0 count, where do they go? Guy with some power at the plate.
Active behind 2-0. And now 3-0. Twins bullpen. The higher walk rates going in the game. And acted behind Keith 3-0. Now 3-1.
Well, we mentioned the Twins got him and he didn't pitch in St. Paul. He's been down in that bullpen for a few days now as well up here. He has warmed up, but first game action in a while. Really hard to be dialed in right away.
See Rogers back up on the ground, and a base hit into right center, and Rogers will round second and make third. And the Tigers have runners at the corners with only 1 out. Second time the Tigers have had a runner at third base today.
0 for 11 so far with runners in scoring position. I'll bring Pete Mackey out of the dugout, but just fell behind in the count. Got the ground ball and just hit it in a good spot.
So Pete brings the team together on the mound, and Gleyber Torres is coming up, who's 1 for 3 today. Now taking a look at the Twins bullpen today, Morty, just a lot of usage here in recent days in this series.
Yeah, Acton, the only one who hadn't thrown in the last 3 days, so hoping to get some length out of him. Obviously, effectiveness matters. We assume probably see Taylor Rogers as well. We saw him warming up earlier. Orsi as well, but a stretch of 15 games in a row and the lack of ability to make roster moves kind of up and down, bringing in fresh arms. A little stress on the bullpen, but I'll say this, Shelty has done a great job managing that bullpen. They've been ahead, being able to find matchups, being able to find pockets where he can get guys into spots where he helps them be successful.
Keith breaks for second and stops, and strike 1 on Torres. This will likely be Acton's last man regardless. With back-to-back lefties coming up, Green and Carpenter, those guys will be given to Taylor Rogers. Keith stays, and the 0-1 pitch sent to right down the line, but foul.
Well, an ability to miss a bat right here would be so huge. Keep the ball out of play. So we'll see what they like, but you're going to try and get them to expand here.
Oh, and 2 on Torres. Rogers at third, Keith at first. Sent in the air to right. Wallner with the play. He'll make the catch. Rogers will tag. Throw comes into second base, and a Torres sac fly ties the game at 1. So the hit batter proves to lead to a run as Torres picks up his 4th RBI. 1-1.
Another quality plate appearance where he got to 2 strikes and was able to put the ball in play and just do what needed to be done.
And Acton will stay in to see Green.
Well, I think now that the game's tied, it's a little different, right? You know you're kind of limited how many guys you can bring in out of that bullpen. If this thing goes extra, how many arms do you have? So, Acton, a guy I think you're kind of counting on maybe to give you more than an inning. So Shelty's sticking with him.
Strike 2 on Green. There were some matchups last year, Twins and Tigers, and when the Twins had 2 strikes on Green, fastballs up and away, that was the place that they would often go, and Green led the American League in strikeouts. And also plenty of power. Picks up the tempo, the 0-2, tries to go that route, and Green does not offer. I shortchanged Green earlier. He finished last year with 36 home runs. Torkelson had 31. As Acton fires 1-2, foul ball.
Got Caratini pretty good right there.
In his Twins debut, Garrett Acton with a 1-2 pitch. Green to left, down the line of the corner. Outman over. Outman slides, and Outman is able to make the play. James Outman sliding and hung onto it, and that ends the inning. Great play by James Outman to his right. Reaching, stretching, and held on for out number 3. By Progressive from our Progressive Wire cam. Let's see if the Twins can answer back. All even at 1. Lewis, Gray, Outman, and Tyler Holton begins the inning at ball 1. To Royce. Holton threw 1 pitch in the 6th, and Cody Clemens hit it hard, but flied out to deep left center with 2 on. And returns for the 7th.
I like this matchup here.
Why is that?
Just lefty on the mound. The way Royce has been taking his walks, been running some deep counts, been tracking the ball really well. And seems like anytime this team has needed a big homer, he's been kind of the one walking up there. A lot of the times we've seen success over the past few years with the bases loaded. I'm sure he's just thinking quality at bat, but I wouldn't mind seeing him getting something to pull into the left field seats here.
Waits for the 2-1 from Holton. He swings and lines it to center field, and Meadows reaches down and makes a snow cone catch. The 111 off the bat, and a hop there from Lewis. Hit it on the screws, but Meadows made the play.
Well, Meadows looked like thought he would have no chance of catching this ball. Was playing on a hop, but he hit it so hard it just kept carrying out there. And had he pulled that ball, probably would have ended up in the 3rd deck. But really good swing. Unfortunately, didn't get the result he wanted. That'll give us a pinch hitter. Austin Martin coming up.
So Martin bats for Gray. Keith playing back for now at 3rd. And a strike on Martin. High on base percentage for Austin to start his season, drawing walks, working the count. And we'll try and battle back down 0-2.
It's going to be interesting to see how the shuffle works here, who moves where. Is this a pinch hitting move that ends up resulting in 2 players being used here? Pinch hit for your shortstop, and you said Martin up there. You know, you have Brooksley on the bench as a right-handed option, but you go with Martin, who's been putting together a ton of quality at-bats.
And Martin certainly more outfield than infield this season. We'll see what Shelty does. Does Brooks Lee factor in at some point? 1-2 on the pinch hitter Martin in a 1-1 game, bottom 7.
Good take.
Twins bullpen, Eric Orsi, right-hander, warming up. Here he is again, 3-2. Martin more walks than strikeouts this season. 7 walks to 4 strikeouts. Reached twice last night. 3-2 from Holton. On the ground and a base hit into left center. A pinch hit single from Martin and some speed on here in this 1-1 game late today.
Yeah, you send Austin Martin up there based on what he's done so far this season with the quality at bats. You see another one out of him just using the middle part of the field. That'll get us another pinch hitter. Luke Keishel's going to come up. And that'll bring Chris Fetter out of the dugout. Meeting from pitching coach, as we normally see when the team sends a pinch hitter up there. This will be interesting here if they decide to put Martin in motion. Do they have maybe a little something on Holton's move that they can pick up, take advantage of? Keishel's been swinging the bat really well recently.
So Keischel coming off the bench for the first time this season today. Bats for James Outman. And saw some power from the former second-round pick earlier on this homestand.
Yeah, Casey Mize tried to get that ball in on him, didn't get it in on enough. Yeah, good for Keischel to get that first one out of the way, but he's been making solid contact, a little tough luck on some of the balls he's hit, but you know he's going to give you everything he's got.
So Keischel batting for Outman. Buxton on deck as he tracks low ball one.
Really interesting. Nobody up in that Tiger pen. And part of the reason why I'm sure Shelty felt comfortable sending these right-handed hitters up there, take advantage here.
And now I think it does look cleaner in terms of what the Twins will do defensively with Keischel playing second. Martin goes out to left, most likely next half inning. One from Holton. Foul back.
But who goes to short?
I think Brooks Lee comes in, right?
So there you've kind of
there's
used
another guy,
right?
yeah.
It's part of that sort of that rotation around, but that's you're looking for opportunities, especially in a tie game. How can we score? All right, we got a lefty on the mound, we got a couple righties on the bench. Let's see if we can find a way to create something here.
Martin stays, and the 1-2 down low. Saved by Rogers. Holton has really good ground ball numbers this season. League average is around 44% balls in play around the ground. Holton is over 58%. Martin, a ground ball single a moment ago. And strike three called on Keischel. Kind of digging in with his back right foot. So he strikes out looking. And it'll be up to Buxton.
Looked like maybe he had thoughts of possibly challenging this pitch. Got plenty of the bottom of the zone.
It was a strike. Good no challenge by Keischel, and now Buck 0 for 3 today. A pop out, 2 strikeouts. Ball one.
Wonder how they attack him here. Are they going to continue to just sort of try and be careful here with the lefty on deck? Going to try and give him something to hit. If they do, I like the matchup.
As Holton just kind of lobs over. The 1-0. Ball two.
As a hitter, you're telling yourself stay aggressive in the zone, but you're also trying to stay disciplined. You're walking that fine line. So you don't want to free passes, and you don't want to put that runner in scoring position, but you got to make your pitch here. And so if you're Buxton, I'm 100% green light here, but you got to shrink that zone. It's got to be something where you like to hit it. Zone's about 3 baseballs wide where you're looking at an account like this.
Does he 3-0? He does not, and that is low, and a 4-pitch walk. And now Larnach will bat for himself against Holton. When pests show up uninvited, Plunkett's knocks them out of the park with trusted professional care. From first visit to long-term prevention, get Plunkett's today.
And so Twins have used those two right-handed hitters off the bench. Martin and Keishel, that left-left matchup.
So the Twins have Brooks Lee left on the bench, have Ryan Jeffers left on the bench.
But I guess the move you could potentially make would be Jeffers for Larnach here to match up against the lefty in the DH spot. Then you still have Jeffers available, but you wouldn't hit Lee here in the DH spot because we expect that he's probably going to go out to short next inning. So
AJ Hinch too. He had a righty up in the bullpen. He had Will Vest.
And also, if you pinch hit Jeffers here and Lee goes in, then you have 0 players on the bench. And if you have an injury, then you're not covered for the rest of the game. So the moves to set up this run scoring situation, just kind of moved it further down the line to Larnach, but he's got the ability to get a base hit right here.
Second plate appearance for Larnach against a lefty all year. Well, Larnach, see the numbers, just hasn't been in the lineup too often against lefties. He had a pretty good sample against lefties last year. Bats with 2 on, 2 out, and pulls it foul. Now, Wallner fared better than Larnach did lefty on left last year. But getting his chance here against Holton. With Martin at second, Buxton at first. Strike 2.
I'd be surprised to see him try and throw a cutter breaking ball off that same spot, that backdoor sinker, and then go out there with something moving.
Runners go, the 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. And the inning is over. So Martin took off, and I'm sure Larnach saw that. Blue Jays have some notable injuries. Alejandro Kirk, Addison Barger, Anthony Santander. And without 4 starters right now, including former Twin Jose Barrios. Toronto 5-7 so far this season. And they have quite a few significant injuries. Kerry Carpenter with a healthy cut off a Garrett Acton slider, 0-1. We'll reset the Twins defense here in a moment as Acton is back out for his second inning of work. So Carpenter, Torkelson, and McKinstry in this 1-1 game. Carpenter struck out, flied out, and popped out. So Brooks Lee at short, Luke Keishall at second, Cody Clemens now at left. The slider there, 1-2. And we were asking Morty about the mix with Acton. And we heard about the fastball, good carry, split, and working out his breaking ball. The 1-2.
He's got kind of that. It looks like he's going to slide step on you, and there's a little delay. He lifts that foot. Must be a little disruptive for the timing, and then that release point. Looks like he's really just kind of pulling down hard against those seams, and I think that helps him get some of that carry with that fastball up in the zone.
2-2, struck him out swinging on a high slider. First strikeout as a Twin for Garrett Acton, 6th of his big league career.
Well, watch this, what I'm talking about. See, the foot comes up, and then there's like kind of just slides toward home plate, and then there you see his head. That's why coaches say pitchers are not allowed to challenge. Where are your eyes when that ball is entering the zone? But nice job of executing that pitch up in the zone. The swing and miss.
And now Torkelson 0 for 2 of the walk. Twins bullpen quiet. Nick Abel, a no decision, 6 shutout today, struck out 6. Now 2-1. Tigers got their first run last inning on a Gleyber Torres sac fly. Two 2-1 from Acton. Sent in the air to right center. Deep but playable. Wallner, Buxton. It's Buxton. 2 down. And now McKinstry. He's bounced out twice to second and also walked today. Twins right side of the infield, certainly playing more to pull. Bell and Keyshaw really bunched over on the right side.
First pitch swing.
I'm going to say yes. No. I said no. Strike one.
But it's over 50%, right? He's aggressive early. We have seen him take 2 first pitch strikes so far in this game, though.
Numbers work out, right? 4 bats, half the time.
See, that's why should have gone to college.
Still time, buddy. Still time. Look at Hawk. 0-2 on McKinstry. He struck him out swinging, buried a slider. Caratini completes the play. And Acton strikes out 2 in a 1-2-3 8th inning. Twins baseball is powered by MLB of the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, welcome back. We got a new pitcher, Will Vest, coming in to face Josh Bell, who's 3 for 3 so far in this ball game. Love to get Acton his first big league win if the Twins are able to score here, put one up and close it out.
Will Vest. See the arsenal for the Tigers reliever, and Josh Bell has produced the lone Twins run so far today. Down 0-2. Matt Wallner on deck, and Caratini due up third. Here's the 1-2. A changeup deflecting off of Rogers. And now a 2-2 count. Twins have already won this series and seeking a 4-game sweep. Last time the Twins swept a 4-game series over the Tigers here was 2021. As Bell shoots it out into left center. Green over. Look out, they collide. And Green hangs on as Meadows hits the deck hard. Oh. And Meadows is down on his back. And that reaction says it all right there. Tarek Skubal and Justin Verlander with hands on their head, and Meadows is down. So Riley Green went left, Meadows went right. Green caught the ball. And Meadows still down. And no need to rush any of this. Meadows looking at his left hand, but now the head back on the ground.
We're going to get a cart coming out, help him off the field.
He's a guy that has dealt with several head injuries, Byron Buxton in his career, and the cart indeed has made its way out onto the playing field. A.J. Hinch is out there with the Tigers athletic training staff. So Meadows now is back off the ground. So Kevin McGonigal looks like he is coming in. Javier Baez, he played plenty of center last year. But right now the attention is on Parker Meadows. As the emergency medical team here at Target Field also trying to assist, and Meadows now on his feet. Jason Kirkman, part of the Twins athletic training staff, out there as well to assist. And we wish Meadows well. Let's take a look and see what happened.
Not sure if it was both guys calling it at the same time.
Oh, the head. It was a headshot there too. Green and Meadows, they collided. Side of the head here from Green and Meadows. Ow. Oh, man.
I mean, surprised Green's all right also. That was not something you ever want to see.
Meadows too, and then impact with the ground. And Baez will play center.
Looks like Colt Keith's going to go over to.
I think he'll stay. Torkelson's still there, so I think just McGonigal is playing short here, Morty. That's the two changes. So there's one out here in the 8th inning. Matt Wallner is the batter. As McGonigal comes in, and Meadows, his spot was due up second. So McGonigal will bat second in the 9th inning. It'll be Baez, McGonigal, and Rogers. So we reset, get back to the action on the field as Matt Wallner digs in. Wallner 1 for 3 today. Swings and misses on a changeup, 0-1. Twins have 6 hits to the Tigers 5. Twins lone run so far coming in the 4th inning on a Josh Bell home run. Tigers tied things up on a Torres sac fly in the 7th. One and two.
He's got a decent carry on that fastball. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try and go back to that part of the strike zone, or maybe even a little bit higher above the hands.
Best good strikeout rate. Walk rate is up so far this year at 10%. And mentioned that the Twins relievers have a high walk rate, as do the Tigers. The Tigers bullpen, the 2nd highest walk rate of any bullpen going in the game, entering play today. The Marlins Miami bullpen right now possessing the highest walk rate of any bullpen in the game. Acton 2 innings in his Twins debut, gave up 1 run, struck out 2. As Wallner waits for the 2-2, hammers it but foul.
That was that same area where they went for the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. Fastball up. Wallner made the adjustment there. See if they go change up down and away off of it. Slider.
So Wallner's come back to work it full.
I've seen this so much from these Twins hitters. Battling through at-bats, grinding out at-bats.
And that's high ball 4. So Wallner comes back and works the walk. And there's that walk rate that I referenced a moment ago. And the go-ahead run is on here in Wallner here in the 8th inning.
Just staying in these at-bats when they're falling behind. Just working deep counts, fouling off tough pitches. And then not chasing when they do get those full counts and taking those walks.
Ball 1 to Caratini. Caratini's 0 for 3. Vest, like many of his peers in the Tigers' pen, good ground ball numbers. Line to left field. That's a base hit for Caratini. Slicing one the other way at 100 miles an hour off the bat. And the Twins in business here, 2 on, 1 away. And here comes Cody Clemens.
Just a professional at bat after professional at bat. And hit it hard the other way. Just flipping it over there, but that contact point a little bit deeper. Still finding the barrel. And Clemens stayed in this game. You're hoping you were going to get this at bat, this matchup with a right-handed pitcher.
2 on, 1 out as Clemens tracks the changeup low, ball 1. This was the area, the part of the game where Cody shined last year. Late innings, game-changing, dramatic swings. Ball 2.
It probably feels good for Cody to get in a game and stay in the game and get 4 plate appearances. See a ton of pitches.
And he's going to challenge. And Clemens is going to challenge what was called strike 1. Twins had 1 left. It looked to be away, and it was. So it's a 3-0 count to Clemens. Twins maintain a challenge.
Which is huge. You got Mr. Grand Slam waiting on deck. I'm green right here with his power, tie game.
Strike 1.
He thought about it. But still in control of this at bat, still in a good hitter's count.
3-2.
Good swing. And see, that for me, the 3-0 fastball, it's really the only true fastball count left in the game. That 3-1, you see him throw a little slider right there. 3-1 for the majority of the time was almost a guaranteed fastball count, but now run deeper.
3-2 pitch, pulled just foul down the right side. Clemens 2 walks, a stolen base, only 1 official at bat, and flied out to the warning track in left center in the 6th inning. Two on, 1 out in a 1-1 game, bottom 8. Again, the 3-2 swing and a miss struck him out as Clemens went after ball 4. So Vest fell behind 3-0, comes back to strike out Clemens. 2 down.
We haven't seen Twins hitters do that too often, but just kind of sped him up a little bit, started in the zone, and disappeared below the barrel. See if Royce can pick him up. He's been swinging the bat better the last couple of days.
Nothing to show for it today despite some great contact. With 2 outs, and Lewis inside for ball 1. Two-out hitting has been a big reason why the Twins have a chance to sweep this series. One and one. Tigers 0 for 11. Twins 0 for 6 today. Wallner at second. Caratini at first. Best about to throw his 26th pitch. He does, and it's a swing and a miss. And Royce, is he okay? I don't think so.
Like that swing he caught, reaction wasn't good.
Royce in pain. And Derek Shelton and Masa Abe out. And Royce favoring his left leg right now.
Just put so much torque on that front leg when you're going to swing. You're trying to hold that front foot in the ground as long as you can.
Let's watch the front foot here, Morning.
Goes, and then the reaction was somewhere in that. That's one thing if he can swing, but looks like he's going to stay in.
So Royce will stay in. Grabbing at the shin guard. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. And the pitch tapped to third down the line. Here comes Keith. And lunging, and Wallner stays near the bag. Everybody's safe.
And what? Trainer comes out, manager comes out. They're checking on your leg. And of course, what happens? An infield hit. He's got to test that leg right away. But only player left on the Twins bench is catcher Ryan Jeffers. Looked okay going down the line. Nice awareness by Wallner at the end of this play as well.
So now Brooks Lee, his first at bat today, 0 for 4 with the bases loaded this year. And a big spot for the former first-round pick. He was the lone Twin not to reach in any way last night. It's been a struggle, but a chance to put all that in the past and put his team on top late here today. 0-2. This is a major league leading 35th plate appearance for the Twins this season with the bases loaded. Wallner, Caratini, and Lewis are the runners. No balls and 2 strikes on Brooks Lee.
A lot of room on that left side. Gotta go play him way up the middle.
Foul ball. McGonigal now playing shortstop. Baez in center with the injury to Parker Meadows. Once again, Vest to Lee. Here's the 1-2.
It's a good take. He's been seeing a lot of change-ups in the early part of the year. Pitches down and away, kind of speeding him up, showing him that fastball. So they go to 2-2 here.
3-2. And now, nowhere to put him. As Rogers kept it in play. Ball ricocheted up the line, but Wallner not going anywhere. Out of the glove. And now he's gone full on Lee with no margin of error.
Through Clemens, that slider below the zone on that 3-2 count. Let's see what he feels comfortable with here.
3 on, 2 out, 1-1 game. The payoff pitch, ground ball, right side, base hit, right field. Walner scores. Here comes Caratini. He will score. Biggest swing of the year for Brooks Lee. He's all fired up, as are the Twins. 3-1 here in the 8th inning.
Well, a game he didn't start. He came in for defense, got himself a fastball, top part of the zone, got the barrel to it, hit in the perfect spot. Great at bat. Way to fight his way through it. That'll be the end of best day. You wonder if he's fired up about that. That tells you everything. Boys on the bench. Clemens loving it.
RBIs 3 and 4 on the year for Brooks Lee. And finally, we see that Central Coast smile from the California kid. Twins by 2, still batting here in the 8th inning. Pitching on well for Lee early on, but his first at bat of the day comes up with the go-ahead 2-out, 2-run single, and a great reaction from the former first-round pick, and all fired up for good reason. Look at that Twins dugout.
First hitter for either team to have a hit with runners in scoring position today. Biggest one yet.
Hopefully not done. Second at bat for Luke Keeschall as Brant Herter comes in to shallow right. Carpenter over. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. But we are no longer tied. Brooks Lee knocks in a pair. Twins are 3 outs away from a 4-game sweep of the Tigers. Roger, we got you up here. The progressive upcoming schedule for the Twins. Off to Toronto. 3-game series. The Twins are right back here for a homestand with the Red Sox and the Reds. Right now we focus on the present. Brooks Lee, go ahead, 2-out, 2-run single. Eric Orsi has the 9th inning with a 2-run lead. 3 career saves, all last year with Tampa Bay. And strike 1 to Javier Baez. Splitter, his go-to pitch. So this is game 4 of this series, and I wonder how often, even in a 3-game series, let alone a 4-game series, in Twins history, they win all those games, and a different guy picks up a save every game.
I think that had to have never happened, would be my guess.
Cody Lorison, the save and the win on Monday. Justin Topa Tuesday. Cody Funderburg last night. And now Orsi today, all in the same series. 1-2 on Baez.
Shelty earning his money, figuring out these matchups, figuring out the way to get to navigate the bullpen through these games.
The score holds. Garrett Acton would have his first major league win. Not there yet. 1-2 on Baez. Again hit foul. Orsi did not throw last night. 2/3 scoreless on Tuesday. Again the 1-2. Poked in the air, shallow center field. Buxton coming in. He'll catch it. Oh, he hung on. Byron hung on. A basket snow cone catch from Platinum in center.
He found that other gear. When he decides he wants to go after it, he just wills himself into going. That the jump he got on it, then how quickly he got up to top speed. He almost overran it, but how often we see him go, he rarely ever has to leave his feet with that closing speed he's got.
It's 1 down for McGonigal, and these two did meet a couple of nights ago, Morty, and McGonigal doubled down the right field line.
Yeah, and Andy Dirks, he's done it again. Andy Dirks in the Tigers broadcast booth pointed out he moved up about a foot in the box closer to the pitcher's mound to try and take away that split.
First at bat today, and he's down 0-2.
And when he did that, he was able to take a ball that looked like it was going to bounce before it got to the catcher and get to it and hit it for a double in the corner. Not often you see any more guys moving in the batter's box, but that's an adjustment from a young hitter. So he moved way forward towards the pitcher to try and take away that split that's 83 miles an hour. It's got good depth to it.
0-2 pitch to center, and Buxton. This one more routine. Squares the shoulders, 2 down.
This copyright telecast is presented by authority of Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins. We're going to get a pinch hitter here. He was able to make good contact with that split below the zone, but I think that had a lot to do with him moving up in the box, get it before it starts to move. Not being a pitcher in the big leagues ever, a question for a pitcher, but I wonder if you would notice that from the mound. For sure the catcher notices it, because where they're setting up, they're trying to get as close to that hitter as possible to get as many low strikes as possible.
Dylan Dingler pinch hitting for Jake Rogers. Gold Glove winning catcher with Detroit last year. Was on base 5 times last night. 3 hits, a hit by pitch, also reached on an error. Base is empty, 2 down. Twins by a pair, 9th inning. Ball 1. Dingler, a former second-round pick in 2020. Hitting .273 early on. He's been making quite a bit of hard contact early on this year. And Caratini will challenge. And Caratini successful twice challenging pitches today behind the plate. Is he successful again? The answer is yes. 1-2.
That's the benefit of saving that challenge in case you need it defensively late when you have a lead. Great challenge right there.
Twins again have been very good challenging this year. They've challenged more than any other team. A strike away. The 1-2 from Orsi. Foul ball. Him out swinging. A splitter from Orsi, and the Twins sweep the Tigers, taking all 4, winning the finale 3-1.
I'll just tell you, draw it up. First homestand of the year, finishing with a sweep. Starting pitching was fantastic, timely hitting, a lot of great at-bats. Just all around a great first homestand and a series against a team that many are picking to win the division. Twins are above 500, head to Toronto for 3, but really good finish to this homestand.
And a beer shower coming up shortly for Garrett Acton. Congratulations, his first big league win. Buxton and the Twins take all 4. 4 different wins, 4 different closures, and the Twins are off to Toronto. For Justin Morneau, Audra Martin, Corey Probus saying so long for now. Plenty more to come. Marty and Tim standing by. Twins postgame is coming up next.